Welcome to Stuck, Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff, and I want startup businesses to be wildly successful. Today, we're going to be talking about food startups with Milene Jardine from milenejardine.com. She is a chocolatier par excellence. So I can't wait to hear about this stuff. Welcome, Milene.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mary.
Sure. So how long have you been in business and what were the first couple things you learned?
I've been in business for 5 years. So yeah, what I've learned, well, when I was launching, I'm happy that I had some channels of distribution set up before launching. And I feel like that's definitely a key to success. I had one major account that I was trying to get a large corporate gifting. And I developed the product almost in tandem with them to make sure I was meeting their needs. Got a lot of customer feedback from other clients that I'd been fostering. So when I launched initially with just chocolate truffles, it was a success. Everyone was very happy with the line, the price points, the assortment. So that was something looking back that I'm happy I did.
Oh, good. The fact that you did your research in advance and you had distribution set up in advance, that's excellent. Yeah, a lot of people miss that step, and it's good to know that that's important. Um, was there anything that particularly surprised you, like in the first year?
Yes. So in the first year, I launched with chocolate truffles, and I realized that's really tough to have just a perishable product in your assortment. So then I launched chocolate bars. I went into research for that. And something that I wish I had taken into account more was buffered more into my pricing. So I come from a retail background. I had the cost of every ingredient per gram. Like I thought I had nailed it, but I come more from like a fashion background, and some of the added loads that I didn't buffer enough. Like I never worked with brokers before. There was, distributor, some of the wholesalers in the luxury market asked for over 50% markup. So I wish I had had a little bit more flexibility in my pricing when I started. It's just there's so many people that want a piece of the pie when you're when you're starting to sell and distribute. And I knew parts of that, but I didn't. Um, I guess I didn't estimate the full extent that I would need. So that's something that I wish I would have done a little bit better.
And I imagine that's true in most food startups, as well as the beauty and personal care kinds of startups as well. You've got to worry about waste and shelf life, as well as levels of distribution, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So what kind of help did you get that you found really invaluable?
when I first started, I leveraged a lot of not for profits that helped small businesses launch. And I kind of immersed myself in the entrepreneur community and specifically in the food community just so I could meet with other business owners. Just going from like a corporate career, which I had, to a startup is very different. So just trying to like change that mindset was important to me in the beginning. Even had like a business coach kind of help me restructure like myself.
Yeah, talk more about the value of a business coach. What made you decide to get one, and what did she bring to the table?
Yeah, well, I'd been at the same company for over 12 years. So going from a lot of structure, and I lost my jobs. There was a lot of, I guess, shame, shame that you shouldn't have. So having that business coach who's kind of been through that transition of coming from a corporate and then going into entrepreneurial endeavors. And he also just connected with a lot of people specifically within the chocolate industry. So I could get a lot of just the the nuts and bolts of the chocolate industry I was able to get from some of his key contacts. That was really helpful, and just structuring out my day and building my own structure so I didn't feel so lost.
Right. So currently, do you have a brick and mortar or is this all online?
No brick and mortar right now. We have a kitchen in Queens, so in Long Island City, and we produce there. We also package and ship from there as well.
Okay. So what do you think food startups really need to know? What are the main important things they need to pay attention to?
Aligning with the right partners. I feel like in any startup, you're always going to have people that kind of claim to be the experts, and a lot of people are going to come at you and want to help you and get your business to help you get started. So just making sure you do your research. I um, went out to visit a bunch of different kitchen spaces before choosing one, making sure that it had the right equipment that I need. Like I'm in a cold kitchen for chocolate. So some of the other kitchens I saw, their cold kitchen was very small. They didn't have like a chocolate tempering unit. So making sure that the facility matched what I needed. It had, some of the basic equipment that I needed, and that they were going to be partners for you. Like I'm in an incubator space, and they also help with the distribution. Like they helped me set up insurance, and just making sure I had everything that I needed. Having someone like that to guide you is really important. And packaging, getting that up front, because that can be really tricky. Making sure that your product is safe and it ships well within the packaging that you have, and then even then the corrugated boxes that you're putting that in, and whether it's perishable or not, how it's insulated. So lining all of that up is important.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Milene. This has been very interesting. And anybody who thinks that they can turn something they do wonderfully in their own kitchen into a business needs to pay attention to some of this stuff, right?
Yeah,
So,
and some businesses you can't work out of your kitchen, like chocolate. The FDA does not allow in New York. The Department of Health and Ag won't let you produce chocolate in a home kitchen. Like you have to start in a commercial space. So different food categories have different requirements. So really doing your homework to make sure that you're you're in compliance with all of the um, with all the laws that exist for that product.
did you get any assistance from organizations like the Small Business Development Centers or SCORE?
I have a mentor from SCORE that the kitchen has connected me with, and he helps me with like big picture strategy. There's a not for profit. They're within New York and I believe California. It's Start Small, Think Big.
Mhm.
They've been really great. Um, there's another one, the BOC in Brooklyn. They helped me with all of like when the COVID pandemic was going on. They helped me get like, PPP loans and EIDLs. So making sure that you have people out there to help. And the what was interesting about the BOC was I'd actually went to them for a loan a few years ago and they had turned me down. But we stayed in contact. I ended up getting, along the way, there's a lot of fundraising that has to go on because you're kind of always in need of money when you're creating product and you don't get paid right away. So a lot of times it's net 30, net 60. So I ended up getting rejected by these people, still stayed friends. And then when COVID hit, they're the ones that helped me get a lot of the government funding. So we still stay in contact. Sometimes they buy chocolate for some of their clients. So just making sure you're always kind of keeping that door open.
Well, thanks again, Milene Jardine from milenejardine.com. And we'll put contact information in the chat and let people go to your website and buy your chocolate. Thanks again. This is Mary Scott with Business Riff, and I want startups to be wildly successful. So join us again for Stuck, Time to Improv.